Hello children. In the first part we studied about of our constitution. Why does a country need a constitution and who wrote our constitution and how. In the second part we will discuss about key features of our constitution. If we study our constitution we will come to know that what are the features of our constitution. So the first feature, federalism. To know about this feature you have to understand what is federalism. Federalism is a system in which there are two or more levels of government in a country, that is called as federalism. So in this way, according to our constitution, India is a federal country. In constitution formally it is not written India is a federal country, nowhere it is written, but in article 1 it is written that India is the union of states, but it consists of or it is having the features of a federal country. So there is federalism. How? Because the division of powers are there among the levels of government. Levels of government. Federalism means when the powers are divided among the governments at different levels. So what kind of levels? Central government, right? State governments and local governments. So these three kinds of governments are there in India. So this is federal system or federalism. Central government powers in the schedule of the constitution 7. In 7th schedule of the constitution there is separation of power. We'll discuss later about it. So till now you have to understand that how is our constitution telling that India is consisting federal features. So federalism. Next is parliamentary form of government. You know that is what is a parliamentary system? Parliamentary system means if there is parliament in the country consisting of a single house or bicameral. So parliamentary means the representatives of the people will make the laws and rules and regulations for the country. So that is known as parliamentary system. In the parliamentary system, head of the representatives will play the role of head of the government. In India, Prime Minister is the leader of parliament. Prime Minister is the head of the government. He is the leader of the majority party in Lok Sabha. So India is a parliamentary form of government because you have listened about Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha are two houses of parliament. In the constitution, it is explained about these Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, both of the houses. Parliament consists of three parts: President, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha is the lower house. It is known as the House of the People. Rajya Sabha is the upper house. It is known as the Council of States or the upper house. Okay, the House of the States. So this is the parliamentary system. Understand? Next is separation of powers. Powers are divided. Powers are separated. You know how? Because in India there are three main organs of the government. Which organs I am telling you? Judiciary, legislative and executive. You have to note down. Legislative will make the laws. Executive will implement the laws made by legislative. And judiciary will interpret the laws. It means it will protect the laws as well as interpret them. Okay. So this is the division of powers. It means separation of powers among all kinds of organs. No interference of legislative in the affairs of judiciary. No interference of executive in the affairs of legislative. No interference of legislative in the affairs of executive. It means this is the separation of powers. It is implemented in our country according to the constitution. Next is fundamental rights. What do you understand by fundamental rights? Are those rights of the citizens which are very necessary for human being for their development. So for the development of people, which requirements are there, which conditions are there, some situations are known as fundamental rights. So in Indian Constitution, according to part 3 from article 12 to 35. This is the explanation of fundamental rights in our constitution. These are the 6 fundamental rights. You know, earlier there were 7 fundamental rights. How many? 7. How many fundamental rights? 7 fundamental rights. But in 1978, the 7th fundamental right, right to property, was removed according to 44th constitutional amendment. What do we understand by amendment? Amendment. Amendment means changing in the constitution. Changing in the constitution. So 44th amendment, according to 44th amendment, 7th fundamental right, which right? Right to property, was removed from the list of fundamental rights, and now it has become a legal right. Now it is given in article 300A. Article 300A. But how many fundamental rights are remaining? 6. Now there are 6 fundamental rights. I am telling you which fundamental rights. So the fundamental rights, 6 fundamental rights. First is right to equality. It is given in article 14 to 18. Article 14 to 18. Second is right to freedom. Right to freedom. It is given in article 19 to 22. Third is right against exploitation. Right against exploitation. It is given in article 23 and 24. Fourth fundamental right, right to freedom of religion. Right to freedom of religion. It is given in article 25 to 28. So in fifth fundamental right, cultural and educational right, it is given in article 29 and 30. And last one is right to constitutional remedies. It is given in article 32. So 29 and 30, cultural and educational right. Article 32, constitutional remedies. What is in article 31? That is left. In article 31, right to property was there. Okay. So these were 6 fundamental rights. Right to equality means all the people are equal. There is no discrimination on any basis. All the people are equal, and all the castes, religions, race, gender, it means there is no difference. Second was right to freedom. All the people are free to move anywhere. They are free to reside anywhere. They are free to adopt any profession. They are free to speak, right? So this is the right to freedom. Third was right against exploitation. It is abolishing the human trafficking and child labor and beggar practice. Okay. Right to freedom of religion means all the people are free to adopt any religion, and all the religions should be considered equal in India. Okay. Fifth was cultural and educational rights. Minorities, according to article 29 and 30, minority people will protect their culture and their educational rights. Right to constitutional remedies. This is the most important fundamental right. According to B.R. Ambedkar, it is known as the soul of Indian Constitution. The soul of Indian Constitution, because without this fundamental right, all the rights are in vain. It is only the fundamental right which protects all the fundamental rights. So this is the most important and last feature of our constitution according to your syllabus. Secularism means secular. What is a secular state? The state which is not having its own religion, that is known as secular state. Secularism, this secularism word was added in our preamble, it means in our constitution, according to 1976 42nd amendment done in the constitution. According to this amendment, secular word was added in our preamble. So what is the secularism? Means there is no particular religion of our government, no particular religion of state, and all the religions will be considered equal. So this is the last feature of our constitution. So in this way we have studied all the features So I hope that you have understood this chapter, and you have to revise again. You have noted down also. So revise the chapter at home. Okay. Thank you.